Welcome, Mr. Handicap. Let's take a look at race number 10 at Oaklawn on Saturday. It is the Grade 3 Southwest Stakes. It's a mile and 16th with a purse of $750,000. It's a Derby points race. There's 40 Derby points on the line. As always, I will do a full field analysis of this race. I will tell you which horses I'm using on my tickets. I like playing exotics, exactas, trifectas, and superfectas. So I will pick 4 horses, and from that group, I will pick one winner. I think this is a pretty good field here. You got a pretty solid field. Let's take a look at him. Look at the one horse, Sun Thunder. He's a closer. He's 10-1. Last time out, he broke his maiden. A nice 6.5. He looked really good breaking his maiden last time out at this racetrack. David Cabrera returns, getting 10-1 on Sun Thunder, sired by Into Mischief. And there's the 2-horse Corona Boat. I think he'll be forwardly placed in this race. He is 2 for 2. Last time out at the fairgrounds, man, he looked good. He looked real good. Put up a nice speed figure. Got a nice workout coming into this race. He's trained by Brad Cox. He's getting Flavian Pratt. He is stretching out for the first time. Question is, can he get the distance? Getting 6-1 on Corona Boat. I will use Corona Boat on my tickets. Take a look at the 3-horse, Jace's Road, at 4-1. Also trained by Brad Cox. Last time out in the Gun Runner, the mile and 16th, fairgrounds. Won by 5.5. He looked very impressive in that race. Getting 4-1 on Jace's Road. I think Brad Cox is going to send one of his horses, either Corona Boat or Jace's Road. I don't think he's going to send both of them. I think he's going to probably send Corona Boat. I think Jace's Road is going to sit just off the pace. But we'll see. Take a look at the 4-horse, Western Gent, 20-1, ridden by Christian Torres. He just simply doesn't have the speed figures to compete with these. Getting 20-1 on the 4-horse, Western Gent. And there's the 5, Frosted Departure. Frosted Departure won his last race at 6 furlongs. They've stretched this horse out a couple times. He wanted nothing to do with a 2-turn race. You're getting 15-1 on Frosted Departure. He may be part of the early pace as well. I think you're going to get a pretty good pace in this race. Should get a pretty good pace. And there's the 6-horse. And I know he'll definitely be part of the early pace. He's a Bob Baffert horse. It's a 3-year-old with speed. John Velasquez is aboard. I've seen this show many times. Baffert is going to definitely send him. Last race out, his maiden debut, won by 7.25. Put that field away with ease. Put up a really nice speed figure. Bob Baffert has won this race 5 times. His owners, Zadon Racing Stables, they spent $2.3 million on him. $2.3 million when they bought him as a 2-year-old. When you purchase a 2-year-old for $2.3 million, you spend that much money on a 2-year-old, you're doing it for one reason only. You want to win the Kentucky Derby. And, well, that name may sound familiar to you, Zadon Racing. They are the owners of Medina Spirit. And after what happened with Medina Spirit, they've been trying their best to get back to the Derby. I mean, they did it with Tabor. They own Tabor as well. Remember, they rushed Tabor into the Derby. They desperately want to get back to the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to tell you, if they let this horse go to the lead by himself, and they sit just back off, don't put enough pressure on him, well, then the rest of the horses are just racing for second because they're not going to catch him. They're going to have to put some pressure on Arabian Night. Getting 1-1. Clearly the horse to beat in this race. I will use Arabian Night on my tickets. Take a look at the 7, Red Route 1. 3 races back, he finished third in the Breeders' Futurity to Forte and Loggins. Last time out, the Kentucky Jockey Club finished fourth, a length and a half behind Instant Coffee, who would go on to win the LeCompte Stakes, grade 3 LeCompte Stakes at the fairgrounds last weekend. I'm telling you, that race he got caught in traffic. And he had a slow pace he had to deal with. You're going to have to keep him out of traffic in this one, because I think he might get a pretty good pace to set up his rally. He's an interesting horse in this field, the son of Gun Runner, trained by Steve Asmussen. I will use Red Route 1 at 10-1 on my tickets. Take a look at the 8 horse, Hit Show, at 10-1. Broke his maiden at Keeneland by 5 1/4. Next time out didn't race so well at Churchill. That followed that up with a nice win at Oaklawn by 3 1/2. You would also like a little pace to run into. He's the other Brad Cox horse in this race. Getting 10-1 on Hit Show, I will use Hit Show on my tickets. And there's your long shot at 30-1, El Tomate. Won his debut by 5 1/4 at Remington. Taking a nice step up in class in this one. So these are the horses that I'm going to use on my tickets. I'm going to use Corona Boat, Red Route 1, Arabian Night, and Hit Show. I'm going to tell you, Arabian Night, he just might be the real deal. He just might be. I mean, so they spent $2.3 million on this horse. They're definitely thinking Derby, but whether he wins or finishes last, he's going to get the same amount of Derby points, and that's 0, because he's trained by Bob Baffert, and Bob Baffert horses aren't eligible for the Derby. So if they want to get to the Derby, they're going to have to change barns eventually. Arabian Night is the horse to beat. I'm going to go for an upset in this race. I think he's going to get a pretty good pace. I think he's going to set up for one of the closers. I'm picking the 7 horse, Red Route 1, at 10-1 to win the Southwest Stakes. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let me know who you're picking. Good luck.